you go to Wuhan, Hebei, you go to Heilongjiang, Harbin, you go to Datong, Shanxi, that's west of China. The Chinese who are here in this country
Yeah.
are not really portraying the true values of what Chinese are about.
Oh, okay. I'm interested.
Because with this Galamsey menace, okay, this cannot happen in China. And the president of China, Xi Jinping, has said it a couple of times that the government of Ghana should prosecute Chinese who fall foul of the Ghanaian laws. He cannot come from China and come and force us to prosecute them.
Hello. You're watching NSG News, and this is the Hot Seat. I'm your host, Eamn, Liquid. This is Ghana Must Work. Ghana Can Work. We want Ghana to work. And on that note, I introduce to you a gentleman, a Ghanaian, who is a businessman who has been successful in his chosen field of study as well as business. And as some of you will know, the concept of NSG News is to give Ghanaians voice, to showcase the excellence of Ghana. And we think this gentleman merits this very concept. I introduce to you Mr. Kwatia,
Yeah.
who is a successful businessman. You're welcome to the hot seat.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
You are not on the hot seat because you've done anything wrong. Some will be on that seat because they have done something wrong, and I'll have to get into their skin
Okay.
and find out why.
All right.
But for today, you've done good. So I'll get into your skin for the rest to know how you've come to be what you are.
Okay.
It's a long journey. I don't think these are 40, 45 minutes, or it all depends on how much you want to say.
Exactly.
Are you ready to speak?
Of course.
All right.
I'm ready
let's
to
go.
share.
You're ready to share?
Exactly.
My understanding is sharing is caring.
Yeah.
So you're a caring man.
Of course.
Oh.
Very considerate.
Very considerate.
Highly considerate.
I love that. Beautiful stuff. So let's start with you as a person, family-wise.
Okay.
What would you like to tell us? What do you want us to know about you?
All right. I'm Kwesi Kwatia. I'm married with children. And about my growing up, all right, I was born in Osu.
Osu.
Yes, King
Okay.
Kanwe, to be very specific. And let me give you a brief history about my schooling, okay? Yes, what really is it about? I started school at a Mantra, Montessori, right?
Is that school in Ghana?
Yes, it's still in Osu.
It sounds like a foreign school.
Yes, there's a place in Osu called Amantra.
Okay.
There's King Kanwe, there's Ashanti Bloom.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I moved on to Royal Preparatory.
Okay.
And then from Royal Preparatory, I then moved to Osu Home School and Accra Academy.
Accra Academy.
Yes, I love that school. That's my school.
It's
And
a
to-
good school.
Yeah, of course, a great school. And then to University of Cape Coast to read the physical sciences, chemistry. And then after University of Cape Coast, I then moved on to Renmin Dashway. Renmin Dashway, that's my graduate school in Beijing, China.
China.
Yes.
Why not Ghana?
No, I mean, I actually needed to.
I'm not being
I
critical.
needed to,
Because we have University of Ghana, we have Kwame Nkrumah,
for my
Science and
graduate program,
Technology.
I needed to, have a change.
Is
okay?
it because of the subject area? Or just because you want change?
No, just because I wanted a change of environment also.
Oh, okay.
And so I moved to Beijing. But while studying, I was also lecturing in a university. There's a suburb in Beijing called Wanjing. Wanjing.
Were you lecturing in English or in
Yes, I
in
was
Mandarin?
lecturing in English. I was teaching business English. I was teaching chemistry.
Wow.
And university in Chinese is Dashui. Dashui. Okay.
I'm sure by the time you're done, I'll be speaking Mandarin.
Yes. Secondary is Junshui. And then primary is Shaoshui. And then kindergarten is Arabic. Chinese are very, although I would say they are inward looking, okay? But they are more hospitable if you're able to speak Zhongwen, if you're able to speak the Chinese language.
Let me interject for a minute. I know you're talking about yourself, your family,
Yeah.
and your schooling journey,
Yeah.
but some of the view that the presence of Chinese in Ghana is not quite in our interest. But you seem to
You
sound
see,
different.
let me intimate on this. The Chinese who are here in this country
Yeah.
are not really portraying the true values of what Chinese are about.
Oh, okay. I'm interested.
Because with this Galamsey menace, okay, this cannot happen in China. And the president of China, Xi Jinping, has said it a couple of times that the government of Ghana should prosecute Chinese who fall foul of the Ghanaian laws. He cannot come from China and come and force us to prosecute them. And with this Galamsey thing, you know, is our fellow country citizens, countrymen and women, who brought these people from China to get themselves into this very ignoble, let me say, ignoble practice.
If the leader of Chinese, of course, we are still
Yeah,
on
Xi
your
Jinping,
journey.
yeah.
If the Chinese government leadership
Yeah.
is bold to tell the Ghana leadership to say, look, if my people go wrong, punish them according to your laws.
Yes.
Why can't we do it? Because it seems like we're not doing it.
No, Mr. Host, I'm not in the saddle, okay? I'm not president.
I do know that, but I'm asking you as a Ghanaian.
Yes, but you see, well, if I am to be the president of this very country and having the opportunity of living in China and speaking very fluent Chinese, I'm not sure I'll really let the laws work against this foreign or these expats, okay? But like people say, laws don't work here properly. It is just about those who are in positions of authority, all right, who I think are very much compromised. So they don't have the wherewithal to crack the whip as they should. And as a trained chemist, you see, if I'm to talk about this menace of Galamsey, I'm going to bring out a whole lot that this interview will have to have about 4 or 5 sections, okay? For instance, these transition metals that are used to extract these natural ore, all right, from the forest cover, from water bodies, which are all biomes. In biology, where we say a biome is a living habitat. The negative effects it gets on the human body, the physiological outlook is very immense. Okay, and for people to allow such a practice to fester,
you know what?
Wait. For people
just a second,
to allow such a very ignoble practice, you are making money, but to the very detriment of the larger Ghanaian populace, especially those in that forest area, all right, who are very dependent on the water bodies, are very much dependent on the forest cover.
I'm very certain we will come to that.
Yes.
I'll take you through.
But how can you allow people to use how can you allow people to use lead? How can you allow people to use strontium? How can you allow people to use mercury? These are very carcinogenic.
You know what? I'm not saying that you're not going to speak about those things. You're a businessman. You are you have a background in chemistry, chemicals.
Yes.
And so you have every right to speak in those about those.
Exactly.
Now, but what I'm saying is, I don't want to take you away from giving us an insight to who you are as a person, family-wise, school journey, and then a bit of achievement. And we'll go into
I've
those
told you
areas.
I'm married, I have children. I'm Ghanaian, all right? Well, ethnicity doesn't really matter here. And I'm a very responsible Ghanaian, okay? Well, I'm Christian also. I'm a very good man.
If I may ask, which church do you go to?
Well, my church, or a lighthouse church.
Or you go to Lighthouse?
But then I was born into
Bishop Doug Hayward Mills.
Kakrabedi.
That's the church?
Yeah, yes, Doug Hayward Mills' church. But then I'm with Kakrabedi's church.
Okay.
And but I was born as a Methodist. Okay. Yeah. Yes, and so that's been how I have lived my life. Yeah.
Okay. One more thing I want us to look into briefly. It's insight into, of course we had a chat before coming on screen, and I've come to realize that you have a multifaceted business.
Yes, exactly.
You have been in school whilst helping your auntie in
My
business.
mom?
Your mom.
Yeah.
Pardon. I beg your pardon. Your mom.
Yeah.
Whilst in senior high school,
Yes.
you spent some time selling with your mother.
Yes.
And then whilst you were in school, university, you were
Yes.
lecturing. So
Yes.
you have built the experience of doing 2, 3, 4 things at the same time.
Yes.
Tell us how you have been able to do all this at the same time successfully. Because it's evident that you are successful.
Yes. Okay. Let me say, my family plays a very big role. My mom was a very astute, very successful businesswoman in Mokola. And then my older sister, Cynthia, who is also a businesswoman still, and very, very successful. And my older brother too, Michael, he was with business, but then he's now sojourned to the UK. He's been living there with his family.
Oh, okay.
So business is really part of this very family. My parents will allow you to go to uni and finish everything, but if you still want to do business, the platform is made available for you. But you see, it's not been all a bed of roses. No. My mom was a very strict disciplinarian. Okay? I can't really count the number of times until you really whipped gave me some beatings. I received beatings that, has really inured to my benefit.
But I don't believe in the fact that.
Oh, Masa, there was a day my mom beat the hell out of me.
And that made you sit up.
You wait. I went to sit somewhere. I was sobering and I slept. Okay. And you see, when I woke up, I realized that I was lying on a mat, and my mom was just beside me, just looking upon me. That thing 35, 40 years ago is still very much clear, very much present in my mind. That my mom, she only wanted to discipline me. Getting that information and understanding and accepting it, I didn't have issues. It actually straightened my path that I needed to live a very decent life. And then our family name, okay, also mattered. And my dad too being very, my dad was a senior lecturer at GNIJ. A lot of people, by my name, a lot of people would be able to remember my daddy. It was discipline. The discipline that we don't have these days. Yes.
We don't?
Or we don't have it. Hey, my dad was a huge towering figure, and the way he would shout, Masa, you cringe.
So you're saying your ability to multitask and give it equal attention for a long-lasting impression, i.e. achievement-wise, has something to do with your family values, your upbringing.
Exactly. When we were growing up, I remember I started, one very interesting thing.
Tell me.
I did only 4 years of primary education.
Wow.
A Royal Preparatory, yes. From class 1 to class 3, and I was jumped to class 6. Okay? And in those days, little as I was...
Are you one of those that they call Shabi?
Of course. My teachers then... It's not that people who know me and are watching this very program and see my name, like, hey, because there was a time I met a lady friend of mine who said, am I a lawyer now? Am I a politician? And I said, no, I'm a chemist. He said, hey, Kwatia, you are sharp brain, you that those days, current affairs. The things that I knew in those days, I'll say I give thanks to God, and my children are like that. Okay? Now, with the issue of the multitasking, it is about discipline, okay? And from a very young age, if you are being teleguided, my dad was very much part of our lives, okay? In teaching us as to how we should handle and manage our lives, so much.
But there's a case that it seems like there's this, that's my view, opinion. It seems like there's this seen or unseen move to make homes break easily. You hear a lot of things being said online where it seems like no one is interested in fighting for their marriages or their homes anymore. What do you say to that? Because you're saying to me your daddy's presence as home and being influential, being part of your journey, is a contributing factor to the discipline you have built.
Exactly.
Being able to
not my dad
and
alone,
have a
my mother.
business.
My mother. You see, auntie would not go to any bad behavior. She'll whip you in line. Okay? And that has helped all over. I mean, my mom, if you make a least mistake, you get a slap, you know. My older sisters, you know, you get a slap, you know. Those things really kept us in check, you know. The beatings that you actually get, you know, and she should tell you to go and take your book and read.
Are you saying that the corporal punishment should return to our schools and our homes?
You see, let me say this, you know, my time and our time, you know, we're having Bible knowledge being taught in schools. We're having this early morning thing called mental.
Yes.
That kept our mind.
2 times 2.
2 times 2, not 2 times 2. 2 times 2 plus 2 plus 3 minus 3. And I was having a friend of mine who I'm not going to mention his name, a royal preparatory.
Yeah.
We start mental, then he put his hand on the table. And then Mr. Bruce will say, hey, gentlemen, get out of the class. Because when he's asked the question, he wouldn't know, or he doesn't know. Okay? And you see, all those things, they kind of, I wish the old school training of 30, 40 years ago, how I relish that we still have it present in our life. It will change and mold our lives. Look, this thing about Bible knowledge being taken out of our education system is really very bad. Because it molds.
Some think that the Bible is been brought to deceive us.
Oh, please, me, I read the Bible a lot, and the Bible makes a lot of meaning to me. Albeit the fact that I respect the Quran, I respect the Torah, I respect any other thing. But for me, as a Christian, and speaking for me, myself, I think the Bible is the all in all. The people who speak, you know, in a very ignorant way about the Bible, I don't have anything to say but to get the opportunity to meet them and then tell them what the Bible really is about, so that they stop with the criticism of the Bible. Because I would not, I don't see why I should criticize the Quran. It's none of my business. I don't see why I should criticize the Torah. Why should I criticize the Torah? It's really none of my business, you know? Yes.
Now, it's still about you,
Okay.
your journey,
Yes.
business and everything.
Exactly.
But before we go to some aspects, some other areas that we believe you have knowledge
Yes.
and skills in there,
Yeah.
comparing schooling in Ghana and in China, what can you say?
Well, there's a vast difference, okay? I've been in China as a Louis Shuishang. Louis Shuishang is a foreign graduate student in Chinese, Zhongwen. And, well, being here in Ghana as an undergrad or a secondary school, I mean, being here in Ghana, studying here, I think China, the education is more practical, okay? It's more of you having the hands-on effect. Ghana is too much of theory. Not to say, I'm not saying this is bad, but you see, now that this very government is putting on this TVET thing and this technical and vocational thing, it's good. It will take about 5-10 years before we will really bear the good fruits.
Yeah.
Because when you go to Poland, it's not there. When you go to Germany, it's not even in France. Okay, it's high time we stop the grammar and all that kind of stuff, right?
No, talk about grammar. We are fond of marking ourselves. But English should not be the determining factor of a wisdom or somebody's ability.
Exactly.
Because there are some who cannot speak English yet are very smart. But see, what ours is the one who speaks the biggest English. We even mark ourselves. I mean, some of us are privileged to have traveled before.
Yeah.
And then you meet other nations that speak English not as clear as
Exactly.
Ghanaians do. And nobody questions them.
You see,
But we do this to ourselves.
you see,
Why?
Ghana, we still have not really shaken off this colonial and neo-colonial mentality.
Why is it taking so long for us to do that?
It boils down to our
Is it a schooling system?
No, wait. It boils down to our self-esteem.
Yeah.
As human beings, we have very low self-esteem, majority of the people.
Has it got to do with the education?
It's got to do with the way the education has been framed up, okay? Now, in China, for instance, when you go to Eamn is kindergarten.
Yeah.
You are taught about the values of being a Chinese. You have certain pledges that you say when you go to morning parade. That's at Eamn. When you go to primary school, Shaoshui, there are certain pledges like I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana and motherland. Today, they don't say it in the schools.
Why?
You are in the U.S. and in every class you see the American flag there. You see, it gives you that nationalistic effect.
So are you saying that?
For instance, in China, where I've lived, in every class there's a Chinese flag. In every household, just in America, there's a Chinese flag. Do we have that nationalistic, self-belief?
So are you saying that patriotism is just is evaporating from our fibers as beings?
Evaporating. I think.
Or it's gone.
It is sublime. In chemistry, it's sublime. It's just it's lost. We don't have that effect. I mean, people are not very bold to say they are Ghanaian when they fly out of this country. I've seen a lot connecting flights outside. When you ask them, "Are you Ghanaian?" They are not very much bold to, show that they are. So you see, the effect of being a Ghanaian.
Out of interest, based on your knowledge, travel, experience,
yeah.
What can we do to fix that? Because identity is very important.
Yes, you see,
it plays a vital role in your positioning in life.
Exactly so. What I think that nationalistic fervor or that nationalistic feeling, I think successive government, or there should be an airline that should pass the parliament that, you see, the Ghanaianization, to Ghanaianize the Ghanaian, for the Ghanaian to believe in himself or herself, there should be some, how do I put it? There should be a writing, okay? That should be a practice. That should be imbibed into the Ghanaian fabric. And it will take some years before it will begin to fester and they show good results, okay? But for now, most Ghanaians will prefer buying foreign-made products, okay? And when we get to trade out, I'll tell you why I feel for Ghana to develop, we need to be, production in Ghana of all the products that we use should be like 82% plus. We just have to import just a few of the items. Everything should be made in Ghana. Are we doing it right? If you ask me, no, they are not doing it right. No. The way they are going about made in Ghana, it's not showing the kind of products. If I'm to share my knowledge and what I think, I have a strong feeling that we'll make inroads. Because I've lived in China and I know how the Chinese put up the image of China out there. Zhongguo, and Zhongguo in Chinese is the middle nation. When we're writing in Han Yue Kao Yu, there's the Chinese characters, And there's a self-belief of the Chinese. From Yuan being a toddler. When you visit the Chinese kindergarten schools, they speak of how China should be great. Everything is about China and no other country. But do we imbibe that in the Ghanaian?
But when we were growing up, there was all these songs of
assassinate. Are the children now singing these patriotic songs in school? Look, Mr. Host, there should be a concerted effort to Ghanaianize the mind of the Ghanaian child, so that all he believes in is Ghana, all he knows about is Ghana. Before any other
till
country.
Then, we are going nowhere.
Till then, we'll just be like that. We're going nowhere.
Talk about, you said we're only interested in field. Look at how the young men run to the centers to watch Premier League.
I
Bundesliga.
I remember
Serie A.
I remember my late daddy took me to.
But not much being said about Shanti Kotoko. So of course, some are going to argue the fact that the scenery is not nice. That's another argument. But I'm just trying to agree with the fact that you're saying we don't have anything we identify ourselves with. It's not in our fiber to say it is us. And no matter what it is, we believe in it and we will pursue it.
You see, Ghanaians don't have self-belief, okay?
You think so?
Oh, no, the Ghanaians don't have. I mean, they are you see, first, you see, what will make Ghana great, okay? And the citizenry. And I'm saying this advisedly, if those in charge will listen, and they will come and ask for my opinion. First of all, we have to take this tendency of being very inward looking. We have to believe in ourselves, and we have to look for our own, for us to move forward in this very life. One of the things that has made the state of Israel very successful and very powerful, from 48, May 15th, Jews have been very inward looking. when you look at Jews moving to the UK, they only look out for their fellow Jews to take up territory and space in the UK. And this even happens as far as the Australian outback. In Australia, and I have family who outside, they lost their residence because the Jews fought a very, very, very smart, very intricate way of getting my family to move to another place to get a Jew family in, and they were building that. They are very inward looking, and they don't open up. Do we, the Ghanaian or African people, have that? No. Until we get to be inward looking and look out for ourselves and love ourselves, not the white person, we are really not going nowhere. Now look at this issue with PDD. You see, PDD, well, with my training, I think he has a gender disorder, one. And two, PDD, as part of the idea is, his issue is also, remotely psychotic. The other one, if I say I have to go into it, we might not finish the interview. But then he's got challenges with gender imbalances, because for those parties that sometimes they clad as women, they do all manner of very disdainful things, with those his parties that and it's most unfortunate.
We will delve more into that. I'm sure, so long as your doors are open,
Yeah.
we will be more than happy to come by, have a subject-based discussion. But this one, we're going to just be exploring different areas.
Of course.
Just to be able to capture and conceptualize your journey.
Exactly.
And with the hope that Ghanaians will listen and learn.
Yeah.
Even as we're talking about the times we're going to school and then you hear the national anthem, you stop.
Yes.
But now they don't even sing it.
Yes.
So when are you going to hear to even stop?
Yes, you see, that's what I'm saying, that there should be the Ghanaianization of the Ghanaian.
Exactly. I agree with you.
And I've written a paper on it that if I'm contacted, I'll share it with people. You see, the Ghana which is we as people, all right, we should have that self-pride of who we are, all right? Love ourselves, love our culture, love everything that makes us and that identifies us as Ghanaian, and besides also as African and black people.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
We're still on you, but we've gone into some other aspects.
Exactly.
Of course, it's all spun from the fact that you said some few things.
Yeah.
We talked about you being in China, how the schooling, and you said it's totally different.
Yes, totally
It's
different.
more practical,
Hands-on effect. Yeah.
And unlike here, it's more practical, drawing graphs and lines and never material.
That does not really kneel to the benefits.
In that respect,
mentally.
I have my own story to tell, but I don't want to take the
wind out of my sail.
No,
Okay.
I'm not going to do that.
All right.
We are here for you.
Exactly.
It's all about you.
All right.
Beautiful.
So
anything more you would like to say in you as a person, your journey, school, in different areas of engagement, just to sum up? That's more it's before, because I want us to move into some other area.
Exactly. So, like I would say, whilst in Accra Academy, I was coming to Mokola to assist the family in the family business with my older sister, Michael, my older sister, Cynthia, and Michael. And going to University of Cape Coast, graduating and coming back to the market to assist then my older sister.
It's
Cynthia.
only your postgraduate you did in China.
Yes, only my postgraduate I did.
Okay.
But my undergrad was at University of Cape Coast. So after University of Cape Coast, the early 2000s, I came to Mokola. I was with my sister in the shop helping her until such time that capital came my way, and I took an individual path of developing Kwesi Kwatia Enterprises, which is now very big, where I was importing storage devices, pen drives from Dubai, and I had quite a big market cover here in Ghana. All right, I was applying. 2004, pen drives was such a big deal, and it was very good business, At that time, to have a very young man like my type, there were certain times when I get to the airport and I'm just going through departure formalities. There's some people that, please, are you traveling? They look at my passport, they say, you're traveling alone? So, you know, at the time, people really got to know me at the airport, you know. That as a very young man, I started business very early. Let me say this. There was a time, somewhere 2006, the Director General of the National Sports Authority, I think is it Prince Udro Mensah, he's late. And at that time, there was a contract that Kingdom Books and Stationery and one other, I think it's the EPP, and me, as a very young guy, I think I was under 25, we all bid for the contract. Later, that word circulated that they said they've not seen a young Ghanaian guy, very young guy, who is doing well in business like that. So the contract should be given to him. All right, and so that's how things have festered. You know, from pen drives, then I graduated into importing surgical gloves from China. All right, and to different businesses, importing photocopier machines and accessories, IR cartoons, you know, that I was given to Puman's company here in Accra. I've even supplied to Valesleys. You know, I've gone to Obuasi, the gold town, to supply products to some of the mining companies there. So it's been a very long, of over 20 years, you know, of doing it, and it's still counting.
It's still counting.
Yes.
So what is your specialty at the moment?
It's general pharma.
General pharma.
Yeah.
Equipment?
All inclusive. You know.
Medicine, equipment?
Medicine, clinical test chemistry kits, accessories like sutures, bandages, name them.
What do you say your business is called?
Is Kwesi Kwatia Enterprises.
Enterprises.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I'm into other businesses. I also trade in toilet brushes, floor mops. I sell ladies sanitary pads, toilet rolls. There's a myriad of things that I do.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So this is your family upbringing, values.
Yes, the business. Yes.
Discipline, and also
yes.
learning on the job.
You see, do you know my problem now? I'm not able to beat my children whip them like the way my mom used to whip me.
Wow.
Oh no, hey, auntie. If Cynthia is watching me, yeah, Cynthia, oh, my mom slaps. Oh my goodness. She'll give it to you.
But I think
today I sit back.
That has molded you.
Yeah, today I sit back and, you know, when I relish, I know my mom wasn't wicked. She just wanted the best for us.
So she beat the indiscipline out of you.
Yeah. So you know what? It's molded me so much that when we come to if I do have hobbies, I don't really have a social life. If I don't have anything doing out there, I'm always at home.
But you're married.
Yes,
it takes a man with a social values to
listen,
get married, you know.
Even though marriage is I'm saying that
value
besides attending to my businesses that I do,
yep.
if I don't have, you know, people are very much surprised I don't drink. When I tell people I don't drink, they don't believe it. When I tell people that I don't smoke, they say, "Oh, you, Rasta man." No. My lifestyle, you know, if I don't have anything very important doing outside, much of the time I'm with the kids at home, or I'm doing something quite meaningful. I don't just gallivant.
Do you still study?
I do still study. I do. And studying it is infinite. You always have to study, do research.
So you mean reading, or you're studying for someone to mark you out or something?
You know, I study to get myself more well informed.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
That's what I do. And
okay.
I enjoy studying. All right. And I enjoy sharing what I have gotten.
That brings to mind, you have a program on Facebook.
Yes.
Where you teach chemistry.
That's now been cross-posted onto TikTok and Instagram. Yeah.
Yes, so this, your multi-tasking has not stopped, not even at your most busiest state.
Yes, I do it as a hobby. And I felt it was expedient.
I watch it. I do watch it.
Yes, very well, thank you.
I have background in chemistry. I mean, at least to senior high level.
Yes, I feel it's very much expedient that I share the knowledge and the wisdom that I have with people. And I'm very happy the chemistry department in University of Cape Town.
I did science as well, but mathematics.
Okay, so
what do you call ADMA?
Exactly. So the chemistry department in University of Cape Town, they do follow, you know, what I do.
Let's we can stay with you.
Yes,
and just
right.
keep there.
Yeah.
Because every time we stay with you, get to other areas anyway.
Exactly.
Because you've done a lot
Exactly.
in the past 20 plus years.
Exactly.
So, but let's go to medical and pharmaceutical trade industry.
Exactly.
What is in there? Historical context, where it is now. What has changed? How has that sector moved, economic-wise, technology-wise?
For myself.
Both for you and Ghana as a nation.
Oh, well, okay, somewhere 2005.
Yeah.
All right? When I started with the import of surgical gloves from China,
Yeah.
there was nothing like WhatsApp. No. So you'd have to physically be in China to do the trading with your Chinese customer. But today here in Ghana with WhatsApp, with WeChat, I can call India and call Dr. Saini, who owns Unichrome Laboratories in Kula, Mumbai, and speak to Dr. Saini for like 2 hours on video. And I ask him to get to the lab. And then, for instance, maybe there's an analgesic like Brufen. Okay, so he's taking probably maybe 50 BPM mg of Brufen, of caffeine. What he's doing in the lab. All right, the processes step by step for the analgesic, which is a painkiller, let me say, how it is produced. I can just watch the process. He's also a chemist.
Okay.
So that's the difference that technology has brought to pharma trade and has really facilitated the growth of pharma trade, all right? Pharma business in everything pharma. Because, for instance, all right, in pharmaceutical trade, we have what we call GMP, goods manufacturing process. That is of World Health Organization standards.
Yeah.
Because I have the technical know-how in the production of these medicines, if I make an order for particular medicines to be brought into Ghana for me, I can make video calls to the labs in India and see how the process is going, even the weighing.
Yeah.
If I'm very serious and I want it done for me. So that's it.
Now, my understanding is that the pharmaceutical industry is a very strictly regulated.
Very, very.
So, in the same context, over the years, what have changed as far as technology advancement is concerned, how things were done and now?
You see, I'm saying that with advancement in technology, it's made pharma trade more fluid, you know, more like there isn't any rigidity or viscosity in it. You know, it's free flowing.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm saying that, I'm a very intricate person. Okay, very, very deliberately intricate.
Yeah.
I want to know the content matter of the medicine you are producing for me.
Yeah.
So I can post a video call and watch, or even you taking the samples and weighing them, me being in the know. For me, it's even very good. Besides the production and then getting into the packaging, sealing of the products. For my customer, I have another customer in India called Chemist Pharmaceutical. They know I'm a chemist, so when I call and ask for these, they open up and say, okay, so Mr. Joe, we took this sample, we weighed this, we did that. At least they give me a picture and an idea of what they are doing there.
So yes, technology has simplified.
Yes, very much. Made very fluid.
The process and the time
exactly
to doing this now. Let's bring it to FDA because you're in an industry where it's very strictly regulated.
Exactly.
Or supposed to be strictly regulated.
Exactly.
You started many years ago
Exactly.
and we are here now.
Exactly.
Trying to, for the audience to see, has Ghana also moved the FDA process? Has it moved along with advancement, technology?
Yes, I think so. The FDA is doing
What
well.
can you say? What it used to be and what it is now?
Some time ago, you couldn't write to FDA to tell them that FDA as an entity X, you as an entity Y, you are importing X and Y, or you are importing A, B, C, D of such products into the country.
Yeah.
So you are letting FDA be in the know. So they will give you a document that when the items arrive either at the airport or at the harbor, you can show it to the excise, the custom chemist. for the person to know that what you are bringing, the FDA is already aware. All right, so that it won't get to the point that they will have to ask where is your license to import the product into the country, that it will be seized.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to go. At first, it wasn't like that, but now, no, with technology and other things, you write to FDA. The FDA will give you that response, and they will give you the go-ahead to import the product into the country.
So, Ghana FDA has moved along.
Oh yes, FDA.
With the
have
technological advancement,
and they're still climbing.
Is that move
Yeah.
appreciable? Because technology has gone very far.
You see,
I want to see, because sometimes we write off what is going on in our country. We are very critical and we will sing all the negative stuff. So I'm just trying to see, you're there. Would you say that the move of FDA from where they used to be and where they are now in processing and approval is better? But do you think they are abreast with what is going on?
They're almost getting there.
They are almost getting there.
Yes.
So with time.
Yes, with time.
So they are making moves.
Yes. You see, FDA should be left alone to work as an independent institution. Okay. Do their budgeting, do everything as very independent as they are, and I think with very short time they'll be top of the range.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think they are left as independent at the moment? Of course, you're not there.
It's
based on knowledge, really.
Let me tell you. You see, FDA is one very institution that I would say, if they are left alone and the structures are made to work, they will really excel.
When it comes to enforcement, following up on people who have brought in drugs, this should not be questioned to you, but just based on knowledge, really. There's always grapevine in every sector. What you think you know, or what is common among men, common knowledge.
Yeah.
Is regulatory enforcement, FDA-wise, is it effective? Following up to see if the drugs imported are correct, and if what is in the shops are consumable, the efficacy of these things. What can you say based on grapevine and common knowledge, really?
Left alone, if this very, how do I put it, very ignoble, where you have government bureaucracies having sort of like influence, okay, on what goes on there. If we don't have that, and they are left alone to do their work, okay, somebody imports codeine into the country, which you don't have to import, okay, because codeines are used in expectorants, in cough mixtures for asthma, and other things, and then they say, oh, the person who imported the codeine goes to call a minister friend, and the minister calls the chief chemist, who is a custom person, and tells, look, give the person a waiver. Why? No, well, allegedly, let me say.
Of course, let's just assume it's true. Why?
It does happen. If I'm to tell you the effect of codeine even on the mind, on a human body, it's good that it's banned and it's not allowed into the country. There are particular medications that are very deadly, that are not good. That should not be allowed to be imported into the country. As for the FDA officials, they are doing their work. But I'm saying that particular bureaucracies from certain unseen hands will give orders that, oh, please, give the person a waiver.
But this is to be used by human beings, Ghanaians.
Yes.
And the FDA is there to protect them.
Yes.
So why would an individual sitting somewhere use their power to
an unseen hand? That's very powerful.
Yes.
But for the FDA left alone, I think the FDA is doing their work. They are very conscientious.
I'm trying to question this unseen hand. Why is this unseen hand poking its fingers into the affairs of an institution authorized to make sure what comes into the country is consumable?
You see, let me tell you something. The very individual who, as a matter of fact, should have been the president of the People's Republic of China is called Bo Xilai. And Bo Xilai was the governor of Hefei province. And Bo Xilai's wife got herself embroiled in some business trade with a British businessman. As a matter of fact, the British businessman passed. That tainted Bo Xilai's ascension to the presidency in China. Nobody's above the law. But can I speak so for Ghana? No, I can't. No. So I'm saying until such indiscipline.
Why can't you? Because you are not allowed to.
It's not that I'm not allowed to. You see, if I'm in the saddle, I'm in a place of authority. And with my training in China and me believing in a lot of the philosophies of Confucius, that great philosopher, I think Ghana will change. I'm not saying somebody should come and contact me, but those who will come and contact, I'll share what I have on my mind, and I think it will really change Ghana.
What is the current challenges in this industry that you are?
Oh, there are a myriad of problems. There are a plethora of problems that, pharma importers, pharmaceutical trade.
Would you like to intimate on that?
You see, I would want to intimate on just one or two, right? I believe the pharmaceutical importer should be emboldened more to move away from just going to buy and sell from India or China or the US, to begin, even if the production is small-scale production of medication on its own, it will grow, it will fester, it will grow up.
You mean to begin
Yes.
exploring the prospect of manufacturing their own medicines?
Exactly. Here. You see these people who have been selling Akubam, they are just doing a very small scale. So you look out for SMEs like pharma importers, and you give them very soft loans, and you get technical people to teleguide them on production. And when they begin to see, so I will not spend so much money flying out of this country to India or to China to import and all the stress back and forth. Okay?
Talk about soft loans. I was speaking to a friend and I asked about business loans, and then what is it like? What is the prevailing rate in the market? And it was in the 30s. Over 30% for
Yes.
a business.
Yes, the least,
how is the business going to
least
survive?
you can
So
get-
how did you survive?
Well, I would say discipline, fiscal discipline.
But 30%, it doesn't matter the level of discipline. 30% for a business.
Fiscal discipline. When I say fiscal, I mean FISCAL, money discipline.
Are you okay?
And you see, you pray to God to also give you wisdom. Wisdom from God and from heaven and above is very, very key. And you see, honesty. You have to be very honest in trading with people. Business itself is not only physical. There's this spiritual aspect of it also that people don't know. They take it for granted. That's why people go into to sorcery and other things in the spiritual realms, so they can maintain just their wealth in their business. It is not just done easy. You have to be a very
Is it true that sorcery can help you be rich?
Oh, yes, somebody once told me some time ago, say, hey, Kwesi, pharmaceutical business, you don't just use your ordinary eye to do it, But
Well, you have to get a third eye.
Well, I'm coming. I didn't listen to him, I just kept to self-discipline, what's in my mind, and pray to God. Yes, and be honest to everybody. All right? Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So, at the moment, government does not have any sort of instruments or policies
for instance, I was
that helps the small scale industry.
For instance,
monetary policy
wait.
from Bank of Ghana.
Before I come to that, for instance, I was contacted by somebody up there in government. No, up in the social outlines of Ghana, who said one of the flag bearers, before even he was chosen as a flag bearer, wanted to get particular Ghanaian businessmen, and he thought I should be part of that group for this sanitary pad thing for ladies, And so I told him, okay, I would give a list of items, machinery, when the machines come to Ghana, the installation of all those, for the production of these sanitary at subsidized prices. Okay, or even can be given to these young girls in their puberty freely. Okay, I was contacted, but afterwards, I don't know. When I made the inputs and I gave the direction, I've not really heard anything about that anymore. Yes. So I'm there when you come for my resource and for the knowledge and understanding and giving you the right direction. I'm ever to share everything, and I think it's going to inure to the benefit of the Ghanaian, you know, is because I have a very enduring spirit. So, and that can do ability. We have to Ghanaianize everything. Okay.
I like that word. Ghanaianize the
Yes, you have to
Ghanaian.
Ghanaianize everything.
Ghanaianize a
Yes.
Ghanaian.
Yeah. Yes.
Make him think Ghana.
Yeah. Think Ghana.
That
Self-belief.
that resonates with the hot
that
seat.
inward looking feeling of being a Ghanaian.
See, this is why I forewarned you that the hot seat is unapologetically Ghana and people based.
Exactly.
We'll argue for only the things that goes in the favor of Ghana and people.
Exactly.
All right. Now you talked about soft loans or financial instruments to help the small and medium scale, and that personally I believe that is vital for Ghana's economic trajectory to change.
Yeah.
Because all the developed nations, the sustenance is the private sector.
Exactly. The SME.
So do you think that our private sector is working?
The private sector is doing its best, but you see,
why is it not better than it is? I'm sorry,
say this.
sir, I know. I'm not trying to argue with you, but let me add a bit more before you go into that. Why is it that there's not much help? It looks like government support for that, because everybody say buying or government work, but the government can only do this much. Private sector is vibrance is required for an upward trajectory for this economy. Can we say that the absence of it is why the economy is struggling? And to add to it, to the best of my knowledge, some of the foreign businesses are leaving the country.
Now, let me tell you something about my personal experiences living in China. You can open an office in China. You can start your trade in China as an expat, as a foreigner.
Yeah.
But there are certain opportunities that the indigenous Chinese benefit that you don't benefit. Now, there's one other thing I know about China is, for instance, this MoneyGram thing. In a day, you cannot send more than $500 out of China. Things are regulated.
Yeah.
Okay? If you have to do a lump sum of money transfer, you see, there is this very circuitous bureaucracy that you have to go through with the bank, either with Zhongguo Yinhang. Zhongguo Yinhang is Bank of China, or CITIC Bank, or Agricultural Bank of China. Name the banks. Actually, Yinhang in Chinese is bank.
Okay.
There is process, and they are very. The bottlenecks are, just to.
So, in summary,
not to encourage you
our
to be.
government needs to have instruments, policies in place to help the private sector and, thank you, and the Ghanaianization of Ghanaians for our economy begin to pick up steadily.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we have to be very inward looking. We have to want anything. We want to have everything Ghanaian.
Thank you very much.
Not anything Togo, not anything.
But we are in a global village.
We are, but I'm telling you that we have to inculcate that behavior in our very body and fabric, our mental psyche.
Thank you for that.
One thing I want to intimate here, you see, the laxity that we espouse all in the name of foreign direct investment, and we allow foreign experts to get into the Ghanaian market, and now are making efforts to get to the commanding heights of Ghanaian trade. That's not to the benefit of the Ghanaian business person, because there's always a capital flight that they do when they sell the products, and then the money, the exchange is in foreign currency, and it sublimes, it gets out of the country.
How?
Well, that is their modus operandi.
Is it through the banking system?
In China, all right, for, let's say, VW, that I know they have a plant in Beijing. For them even to sell their cars onto Ghanaian market, it's a challenge, because we have BYD, which they produce the cars in Hebei province. That's not very far from Beijing.
Yeah.
Shijiazhuang. There is so much laxity and room for the Chinese manufactured products to outgrow, outplay, overly be more. The foreign, how do you call that? Product cannot in any way compete with the Chinese product. You know, and the Chinese market is very, very vast. So foundations are created for Chinese businesses to grow. Now, I was just saying this. I say that, you see, now with pharma trade, now the herbal side, people are using herbal pharmacy, herbal trade, and it's now getting onto the Ghanaian market, just like TCM, which is traditional Chinese medicine. It's one way that we have to look at, the government, the Ministry of Health have to look at. Probably contact people like us for us to give them what we have in our heads. That will give the Ghanaian SME, who is a pharmaceutical importer like me, a takeoff, a very positive takeoff.
At the moment?
There's nothing like that.
If I may ask why? Is it government issues?
Oh, please.
Bureaucracies?
See, the government upon government, they have their priorities, all right? I'm not sure. You see, they have their personal agenda. But we
personal
also,
agenda?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
And
of course.
Making the economy work is not one of it.
They profess that they're getting the economy to grow. But carrying everybody along, I doubt. They're not able to carry all of us along. Some are left out.
And this is evident base.
Oh, of course. I can give you a myriad of that. Okay? They don't, I say they don't work much inuring to the benefit of the Ghanaian business person.
So should that also be linked to the fact that they've not been Ghanaianized?
Yes, they haven't been. For instance, as we speak now, there's a technology fair in Turkey. That's the Turkish president, Erdogan. He's making sure that everything that is being made is from Turkey, used in Turkey and exported out of Turkey. They are not allowing the foreign influence on Turkish technology is very minimal. We should have the can-do spirit to produce Ghana. Are they doing the right thing? As they say, they are doing can-do Ghana or made in Ghana. For me, if you ask me, they are not. They are not. I have a way by which I
How do you feel about that?
I feel very bad. So there won't be any growth in Ghana. It will be very stunted. Okay? It will go in a very piecemeal manner. And they will always salute, buy made in Ghana products. Where does it go? Even the standards are very low. The standards are
And
very,
I actually talked about that. I went to the Achimota Mall yesterday and then they were doing some open exhibition there with made in Ghanaian clothing and then bought some as a gift for a friend and something for madam.
Yeah.
And you see the knitting, the finishing, the edgings were not, you see, attention is not being paid to it. As you're saying, they are low standard. They are very nice, but when you hold them, you can see that the person who made them didn't think those things are important.
I don't know, but I believe that what I have in my mind, I have to really present a paper to give us a lead as to how things should be done.
But what about the trade industry? The trade and industry. What's the ministry called?
Yes.
Ministry of Trade and Industry.
Yeah.
What is their job? What have they been doing? Because what you're saying here, which of course I can attest to some of them as a Ghanaian, looking around what's going on.
Yeah.
I believe over 60 years, if our private sector is vibrant, we should not be crying as we should be.
Yeah.
And even after the COVID, the inflation shouldn't be that high, even though every country was experiencing inflation because of the sudden halt and attempt to restart.
Exactly.
But ours was, of course, I know I was critical with Professor Hang. Professor Hank, I think his name is, an American economist who kept bombarding Ghana with some questionable things that I don't agree with. But the fact still remains that our inflation was very high, which I will attribute to the fact that the private industry is missing from action.
Exactly. Yes, you see, let me tell you, for Ghana's growth and industrial awakening and rapid ascension to the higher heights of international trade growth that would show, the index say we have really, in terms of human capital, human development, the mind, the social, the cultural, every aspect of it. I think we are really lacking a lot. You see, then again, I say that there is a certain discipline, mental discipline, that should be etched. Let me use the word advisedly. That should be etched onto the minds of Ghanaians. At first, we have to be very. You see, when you are inward looking, you look out just for you. What is you is what you believe is best, and what you believe that is for you is best is what everybody should patronize. Americans are also very inward looking. They believe in everything should be America. Okay?
Of course.
Africans, do we even have that self-belief? People bleach their skin.
Oh.
But this is very simple.
Tell me about it.
People bleach their skin because they feel black is not beautiful. I normally, when I'm in D-tier in Chinese, the subway, when I'm in the D-tier reading Chinese newspaper, maybe the Beijing Daily, and they see Hey Ren, that's black. Hey Ren, why go Ren? That is black foreign. And I'm reading the news in Chinese. The Han Yue Kao Yu. They are always very surprised.
Why?
And then they asked me, so, Nijuzai Beijing ma? Like, Nijuzai Beijing. You live in Beijing? I said, Due. But Juzai Beijing. And then
Due.
Due
means
Due.
yes.
Due means yes.
Due means yes.
Due, yeah. And then they'll ask you, how long have you been in China? And then you tell them, then they'll ask you, so how did you, your intonation with the Mandarin is very Beijing-like. How did you get it? Well, seriously, they think black people
are good for nothing.
Yeah. We are good in certain
But that's the
of,
perception we give them.
yes, you see. But then when they see that you speak their language, they have a great deal of respect for you. They now sit back and look at you, and they believe that their language is very difficult to study. Chinese is very difficult to study. We have 4 tones. Ta, ah. It's very difficult to, like.
So when you see you speaking it,
like when I say wadaola, wadaola in Beijing Chinese means I have arrived. Now in Hong Kongese Chinese, that's Nanjing, south of China, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Guangdong province. Even when you go to Taipei, they will say wataola, which is not the correct Chinese. All right? Yes, just like speaking broken, or like just like speaking Creole in Haiti. Not speaking the real French language, but speaking that broken French, you know. Yeah.
we can stay there, you know. We can stay where you are at the moment.
Okay.
But so obviously the government needs to focus on, of course, you're not here as a political person, you're here as a business person.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
your advice, because we all want the economy to work. We want it to be vibrant.
Exactly.
We want it that the guy on the street can feel it,
Exactly.
can experience it,
Exactly.
can live it.
Exactly.
You see, so let's take it away from there. Let's go to impact on. Let's go to navigating political leadership. Change of leadership. Your business, your entrepreneurial journey has spanned at least 3 different governments. 4.
Yes. From President Kufuor, from President Mills, from President Mahama, and from
now
President with Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo the president. See, 20
Which
years.
one was best to you without mentioning names? Which one was good for business? The best among these 4 you've mentioned.
President Kufuor.
President Kufuor was the best.
Yes.
His economy,
Yes.
his economic policies help business more.
I would say that, well, to some latitude, but if you
I
ask
mean,
me,
comparatively, not
comparatively for
among the 4.
For the other 3,
Yeah.
President Kufuor stands out.
He stands out.
Oh yes, but he does.
What in particular did he do?
You see, President Kufuor's time, there was so much fluid. You know, capital was very easy to come by.
But that was the time that we went HIPIC.
Yes, that was after the HIPIC. You know, things started picking up during President Kufuor's time.
Yeah.
Okay? That people could get loans easily. The banks were chasing people, so people were having capital, cash to spend, and they patronized my products. So it made me also raised my capital, what I was having, it was going, and banks were calling me to come for loans, I mean, they made things quite hospitable.
There was accessibility.
Yes, besides accessibility, I'll say hospitable. Unlike other ones that was very, I don't know.
You can't describe it.
Yeah, very, very viscous, so much
Tight.
viscosity, you have to really go through before, So I think President Kufuor's time.
You talked about banks and Kufuor's time,
Yeah.
how things were accessible and easy to come by for business reasons and for business support.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just talk a little bit about the collapse of those banks or shutting down of those banks and amalgamating them into one bank now called CGB. Am I right? What do you have to say as a businessman? Were you impacted by that move? Because some still think that it shouldn't be.
I'm not going to sit here to give a fiscal critique of what the first tenure or the first term of Nana Addo Dankwa's government has been. But I believe that I just wanted to leave it to their chest, to Uforiate's chest, to Akufo-Addo's chest. If they think or they still believe that what they did really inure to the benefit of the Ghanaian citizenry and then the banking system, the trade system, they are you see, I'm a very good judge. I can speak off. But
from business perspective, really, that's
but well, for business perspective, those who are crying the loudest are those who lost their banks. Okay, I'm still trading. I have my bankers.
okay.
Was it right that they closed it? No, it's relative. Everybody has what they think. Okay, because I think they were also into certain banking
Yeah, I was reading a document
yes,
that
they were into certain very horrible.
established the fact that there was
Somebody was giving money to
lapses.
do the bank thing, and then he goes buy property somewhere.
Yeah.
If that is true, that's most unfortunate.
Yeah, because that document I was reading suggests the fact that there was some regulatory malpractices and lapses.
Exactly.
And not only that, the Bank of Ghana did not just jump on them, they were put on notice. They were advised to put things right.
Exactly. You see, they were advised to put things right, and they
didn't.
So, for me as a private businessman, did it affect me? No, I don't really see.
So it is not a witch hunt as it was.
I
as
don't
it's
believe
placed.
so. I don't. It's very misplaced if you say it was a big witch hunt. Witch hunt in what sense?
I mean, that's what some are
You've been giving
saying.
money to do AXYZ, and allegedly you take that capital, that fiscal thing, and you go to invest in something else. If that is true, where comes the witch hunt or whatever that they think is it? I think so.
Yeah, but some say because it was change of government and NDC, MPP, and all the usual partisan arguments.
I have heard during President Mahamad's time,
Yeah.
their capital bank was giving about 600 billion Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
What did they do with the money?
Right.
How did they diversify the money? How did they use that money so even to inure to the benefit of the Ghanaian economy? What did they do? If they didn't do what the president then wanted them to do, and they mismanaged the money. Some people have suffered penalties for that. That young guy, Atwesi, is in prison. I mean, please, I think I'm not here to defend anybody.
Yeah.
But if you've been giving money to do AXYZ, which is a tax that you've been given, why don't you go ahead and do it? And rather divert, then you have a different intent, which...
I mean, some may be out there hearing you and they'll disagree with you.
Well, it's in their right to disagree with me. I hold a contrary view. Okay? I'm saying that if it is true, as word circulated, that you are given X amount to do this, to put into invigorate
The economy.
the economy and then the bank. Did you go and buy properties? Was it a tax that you were asked to do? If no, then...
of course, I've got your argument.
Yeah.
That if what is alleged is true, then the move by the Bank of Ghana is justified.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
I've been reading a
Because
document.
in certain countries, in China, if you do this, you suffer the penalty.
Yeah, but some think that they could have been bailed, that if the banks were at a place where if not care is not taken, they'll collapse the whole banking system because they are becoming a burden on the, as you have said, some is alleged to have used the money not the right way.
Mr. Host, you've been giving,
Yes.
we've been giving Eamn, we've given money to invigorate the bank, to reawaken the bank.
Yeah.
And you go somewhere to disburse the money for other reasons, not what you have been taxed to do to, that will go to the benefit of the bank and then the Ghanaian economy. In China, you'll be dealt with. Simple. It's not about we going about. That's why I say if the institutions are working very well here in Ghana, there are certain bottlenecks that will not be facing.
I've always maintained that there's every law and regulation in Ghana.
Yeah.
But I think that the only problem we have is enforcement.
It's part.
Regulatory enforcement
It's
is
part.
almost absent. And
Of
every
course.
time somebody tries to enforce it, then the partisan argument begins. Even most recently, the police acting during the, what do you call it, the demonstrations, some think that MPP is using the police to do their dirty job in court. If we continue like that, nothing is going to work.
With this democracy hub thing,
Yeah.
I think what they are doing is right, but they should do it within the ambit and the confines of law.
Agreed.
Rule of law.
Agreed.
You see, they shouldn't go overboard to misbehave, because we have laws and the laws will work.
I agree with you. Civil disobedience is part of the democratic process.
Because I don't understand why police barricades and you are pushing the barricades. In modern day China, you will be dealt with by Jinchang. The Chinese police will deal with you.
Jinchang.
Yeah. You see what happened.
I've learned a lot of words
You see
listening
what
to you
happened
today.
at Tiananmen Square. That's how we say it. Tiananmen. Tiananmen means the South Heaven Gate in Chinese. Tiananmen. They say, oh, English say Tiananmen Square. Tiananmen. No, we say Tiananmen. Men in Chinese is gate. Tian is heaven and Nan is south. What happened with the democracy demonstration that had happened in 1989, that people were killed 4th June. You know, civil disobedience is not allowed in China. You'll be whipped in line. I'm not saying it's good, but you know, in a way, it brought some discipline. People say it was against civil rights. Blah,
But they'll
blah,
say
blah.
it's a communist country and
Oh,
blah,
I don't
blah,
see.
blah.
China is communist, but trade is capitalist and everything. You know, property owning. People own their houses. When you go to Shanghai, people are having house. You come to Beijing, you go to Wuhan, Hebei, you go to Heilongjiang, Harbin, you go to Datong, Shanxi, that's west of China. I mean, that's private whatever thing.
So let's come back to the government, the change of government and impact on business, your own experience, and the economy at large. From what you said earlier on, means that these changes does affect businesses.
It does, but you see, it's not very sudden. What I'll say is businessmen who, how do you call that, showcase their face in the public domain. When there's a change of government, it's not their government, they, one way or the other, are one of the first victims. But for me, as a...
So that would then fall under which hand then?
No, that wouldn't for which hand, no. But for me,
So
as a
why,
private...
if somebody is showing their face out in the public
Then probably
domain?
you have sponsored the party to
Oh,
come
okay.
to power and all that.
Okay,
You
okay.
are making all
That's
that
what
noise.
you mean.
Yes, they will deal with you. They will actually come in for you. They'll come for you in all different ways that you might not see. But for me, as a private person, unless the budget is read and taxes are raised, blah blah. So the remote possibility that it affects me, it will take time. Maybe when there is a reading of a new budget, okay?
Okay.
Then even if I'll have the effects, maybe towards the end of the year, you know, if they don't check the exchange rate, the bank rates, you know, there are certain fiscal practices or parameters that if it all should inure to the benefit of me, the Ghanaian businessman.
So in effect, you're saying that those that are engaged with the government sector for business, when change of government happens, it could impact their business
Oh, of
because of change of procurement policies, rules, and who they will prefer to work with? Or is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly. Me, I have gone to chase contracts before.
And what happened?
I don't own a party card.
Yes.
I only sympathize with a particular political party.
Yes.
I followed the thing back and forth, and I had to give up. But I can honestly tell you that it's very easy.
That again, you see, you remembered when I asked you about schooling in Ghana and abroad, China. Again, you've done business abroad as a foreigner.
Yeah.
Engaging with businesses, either private or government institutions. Yet, everything went smoothly because there's a system in place. Yeah. There's a process.
Exactly.
There's a procedure.
Exactly.
But you're saying here, change of government.
Too much bureaucracy.
The bureaucracy means that somebody could just lose their engagement because
of course
they've shown their head.
Yes.
To have been leaning towards a particular
they've shown their sympathies to a particular.
And therefore, they'll have to cut ties with you.
Exactly. It happens.
So that means the systems are not working.
The systems are not working. That's what I've been saying from the onset. The systems are. That's why I'm saying that FDA should be left alone to do. You see, if FDA is even allowed to raise capital, do their own budgeting thing, that they will not need the government. How can a government minister allegedly call an official and say, "Oh, XYZ, I know him, has imported this contraband like codeine into the country. Please, can you kindly be kind enough and give the person a waiver for me? I beg you." And it is done. It's not right.
Yeah.
This can never happen in China. It won't. How? Never.
Not even only in China.
Yes, it was not going to happen. But these things are festering. They are happening here in Ghana.
Wow.
Yes.
How do we fix it?
You see, we need to discipline our minds and change our lifestyle.
That goes back to Ghananization.
Of course, we should do that. That we should believe in the Ghanaian and want to see Ghana succeed. We should have that selfless mindset.
So, in effect,
because if
these
you are there
upcoming elections,
because if you are there, you want to self-aggrandize wealth, amass wealth.
But that's what it is.
That's what it is. And that's what really is it about that people are doing, allegedly. How can the country move forward?
So if this 2024 election means change of government, means some people are going to suffer.
Of course, I mean, yes. It's something.
But the NDC, let's say NDC wins, so they win. But they say they are democratic and they are for the people. So if I am a sympathizer of a party and I'm doing a good job servicing the government institution, why should you cut ties with me?
You know, you only be maintained when you have friends in NDC. Let me tell you. So nepotism, there are people in MPP.
Cronyism.
Yes, of course.
That's the order of the day.
Yes, that's it. There are people in MPP who are friends at the top upper echelons. There are people in NDC who are at they don't suffer. Government go, government come.
So for me to do well in Ghana, I must have friends in high places.
Of course, you should have.
But you have done well.
Yes, well, I have, by the grace of God.
Okay, then I need to pray more.
You should.
I like that one.
Yes.
Having trust in the Lord.
Yes.
Because he's above every man.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
See, because he says he's the God of all flesh.
Exactly.
And the heart of the king is in his hands.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you don't have to be, but you will still get your own.
Exactly. Exactly.
And you've done well. And you're still doing well.
Exactly.
So that's why. So, but from what you're saying, all other things will still be doing well if the systems works at least, let's just not exaggerate, at least 80%. That whom you know, nepotism, cronyism is not the determining factor of business as far as government is concerned.
I intend to.
We would have done better.
Yes, of course. I intend to present a paper. And that paper would, in a way, teach Ghanaians to be one very self-dependent. Okay? Not to lean on people for help, thereabout. You see, when we have that change of mindset, I'll just give you a very simple analogy. I see people who are into this herbal trade. Now, people who also trade like me in orthodox medicine, that we import drugs, the formula, the process is there. So with a little push and help, the products that we import from India that are generic, if we enrich the products that we have and the raw materials, we could even match with those that are in the US of good quality, of high standards.
And we can do it if you want to.
Yes, if the government would make the concerted effort, or the fact that maybe asking me for my mind or asking me for what I think, and then I'll submit to them and tell them, look, I'm presenting a paper of this, consider it, blah, 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 blah. We can make a very big jump and a very good headway.
So this is where the bureaucratic hurdles comes in.
Exactly.
Change of government, then people have to now begin to see how to.
Yes.
And if being a friend is what does it, then you have to become a friend.
Yeah.
But ideally, it should be the process, the systems that should rather be the determining factor.
Of course, so the system should be working and working independently of everyone, all right? Not having any favorite, okay? That's what I'm saying, that for me, a private business person, that I don't show my face with politics and all that, if there should be a change of government, it doesn't really affect me unless they come and they read the budget and things on taxes and all that, that affects all of us. That would, to my benefit, or may not, to my benefit. But for the people who are up there and they show their faces with business, the day after 9th December, your account and how you got your monies and how your amounts, or search is being put on it. All right? Yes. And
so
before
from where you are sitting, change of government, no change of government, you will still survive.
By the grace of God. And that has been.
But some are praying there should be change of government so their friends in high places can place them.
And yes, of course. And there are also some people in higher places in government who don't really care, whether it's NDC or MPP. And this duopoly would fester for more than 60 years. Ghana is not ready for a third force. So those people who are doing their thing.
But there is a new force.
There's a new whatever. You see, in America, if you are not able to get the popular votes 5% plus,
yeah,
you cannot be on the ballot. We should put those things in place so that we won't have all this plenty 13, 14, 25. Everybody thinks they can.
But if the EC says no, they will say the government in power is using the EC.
I'm saying that an LI should be sent to Parliament and it should be made law. That if you're not able to garner 5%, please go and join the two big parties, NDC and MPP. Don't waste anybody's time. Okay?
How do you determine that?
How do I determine
That's the thing. How do you come to the determining the 5% determining factor? How do you know? It's only
the 5% figure, right?
How do you prove it? How are you able to substantiate that 5%?
You see, one of the parameters,
until election.
Oh no, wait. One of the parameters that you should be able to, as it were, be able to be right about that figure. One, structures. Those parties, do they have structures in all the 276 constituencies? Do they have it?
Okay.
Now, membership electronically. Okay. Now, Jean Mensa is saying we have about 18,700,000 and something, blah, blah, blah. How many card-bearing members of that political unit? Card-bearing members, not sympathize, I mean card-bearing members. If it's 5 million plus, or it is 5% of the whole figure, then they can be allowed into.
So you've thought this through, and you're saying that it can be tracked. It can be tracked.
Yes,
and proven through the electoral system, registry system, to prove if this person standing for presidential candidacy can garner 5%.
Exactly.
By checking all the various.
Exactly. Because the structures are in place.
Right. Okay. So I don't want to keep you too much. I know we can continue talking. So let me take you to two more areas or three, and then we'll quickly be running to. But I'm enjoying the conversation. Even the Mandarin that you keep speaking, that is even tickling my fancy more. Yeah. You see. But let's go to future political leadership with respect to expectation for the next government, be it changed or the same government. And I'll add to the fact that having experienced all this, the next one coming means you have seen your business have seen 5 change of government.
Exactly.
So, what is a critical economic measures do you think this person, this government that will be taking over should implement to help Ghana become an economic superpower?
You see, it is not an easy road, first of all.
Obviously, we are nowhere. There's deficit everywhere.
Ghana, well, we have challenges that we need to surmount with the debt issue. But if I'm asked, I would say that, you see, what we should do as a country,
Yeah.
we should find a way of mopping up whatever monies that have been misplaced. People who have taken monies. It's very important that this new government will go out there, because the Auditor General has written a whole lot. We should go through it carefully. And then what will build Ghana up, okay? We should start the importation of products like tomatoes, like garden eggs, like onions. We have a very fertile biological system in place here in Ghana. That some of these things are very, very repetitive that we should be producing in Ghana. So,
Are you sure this will happen? Because this mopping of the system, do you think it's going to happen? Because I'm saying this because I read an article which I think forms part of the new book that Manasseh Azure wrote, the President Ghana Never Got.
Exactly.
I think it's an extract from there that he posted on his page, and I was reading it about Zoom Lion. Let me paraphrase it, having ghost staffs that are being paid consistently by government.
Yes.
And this thing started since Mahama's time. So how are you able to convince me as a businessman that, because it's possible that except this third force just out of miracle becomes the government of the day, it's going to be one of them?
You know, I don't even put
Because when he put the numbers out there, 45,000 people paid 800 every month per person. And that is some billions of Ghana money that is paid out.
you see,
But allegedly, some of the councils don't have those staffs.
you see, let me tell you.
So I'm only challenging the fact that you
There's-
said the mopping of the system will solve the problem.
Ghanaians, the majority of Ghanaians are very disingenuous. And you see, if we should have a change of mindset, it's not really much of the government.
Something that is an argument of the whole seat.
Yes, Ghanaians.
Mindset and mentality.
Yes, a lot of Ghanaians are very disingenuous, and that's very criminal. That they don't realize it. They think anything are buying, they should rip it off. And yet again, they still accuse those who have appointed themselves to be leaders of the country that they are stealing. Allegedly, they're stealing all over.
Everywhere.
And I'm telling you that it is a mindset, and we're beginning to be very inward looking, and we Ghanaianize. We have to want to see Ghana succeed. We have to sacrifice, but people are not ready to sacrifice. No. Yeah. And it boils down to our upbringing.
Because you hardly even see the Zoom Lion workers on the street these days.
Now
But from what Manasseh Azure is saying, payments are still going through.
Yes.
To who? To whom?
That is a very disingenuous
Behavior.
Yes. And all those things should be taught.
And
This will not happen in China.
And that's repugnant.
Exactly.
Very
I'm saying
unacceptable.
this will not happen in China. And these are the same people of their ilk who say, oh, John Mohammed's government is this, Akufo-Addo's government is this. Can you imagine? That they go back.
This analysis from Manasseh suggests that this thing has been ongoing since, and he actually, straight on, let me just put it there, he said it without muzzling words that Mahama is aware of it, and that the current president is aware of it too. That's what he said. His book is saying it. Look, I'm only saying what I've read out there. He's an investigative journalist. So
invariably, we don't have people who say they are leaders in this country who want to see Ghana succeed. So they'll keep bleeding Ghana till Ghana can take it no more. And these are the same people who will come all up in your faces to ask for your vote.
And we vote them.
Well, I have my prerogative. For me, as I sit here, I still don't know honestly who I should vote for. Let me be very candid and frank with you. Or let me be very pellucid, very transparent. because they all don't convince me.
Of course, the school you went to say Ese Convidere.
Yes.
To be is better than to seem to be. Honesty is the best policy.
Exactly. They don't say anything that gets me kicking boots to want to vote for any of them. I'm being very honest with you. You know?
Thank you for your input on that, because some of the questions I ask you purely because you're a Ghanaian
Exactly.
who love Ghana and
Exactly.
you want to see Ghana
I want to
succeed.
see Ghana do well.
Ghana do well, and this is why you've even come out with the word Ghanaianization
Yes.
of Ghanaians.
Yes.
We think Ghana.
We
At
should
least
start-
80%
should
of
start
our
being
mind should be Ghana.
Very inward looking about our social culture, everything about us. The Jews are most very inward looking people.
Now, the ultimate question.
All right.
Political aspiration. Having been successful multitasking since being in senior high school,
Yeah.
business, education, business, academics,
Exactly.
multifaceted business,
Exactly.
would you consider going into politics or occupying a political position to help Ghana, where your quality of being a Ghanaian-minded person will be of use to all Ghanaians? Is this something you will consider?
Of course, I will.
How soon?
In the not too long.
Future.
Yes, yes, I will.
And you run your whatever it is you are giving like a business, because you have succeeded in
Yes,
business.
You see, chemistry makes you have a very analytical mind. So you think through things very well, even the least of detail. Chemistry sharpens your mind.
Yeah.
It gives you a focus in life.
Yeah.
Right? It makes you have to be honest. Because if you run a chemical test in the lab, what you see physically, you have to state it that this is what you see. You can't say copper is Jekyll and Hyde, is greenish yellow. And you're seeing that it's greenish yellow in this one, the way it acts, and they say it's blue. So you begin self-discipline in the lab and in your mind. You are compelled to see the truth at all times.
Of course. I mean, I'll be happy to see you
Right.
wanting to help. Yes, even now you are contributing to the economy because you have employees.
Yes, exactly.
Employing
Yes,
staff.
yes, I do.
Pay them.
I do.
And so you actually helping the economy.
Of course, I've been doing that for very long.
This is why we were saying earlier, private sector needs to be made active.
They made to be emboldened. That's the word. Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
In your final words, what would be your advice to young Ghanaians who want to go into business, entrepreneurship, who may be contemplating government, change of government, economy, these, all the usual lines of communication?
Exactly.
What will you say to them? Who wants to go into business, just like yourself?
In
those who will consider...
Yes, they should know what they really want, first of all, that they like,
Yeah.
that they want to do.
Yes.
And like I say, Rome was not built in a day. First of all, they also need to have people who are very good, who can advise them on their journey. And they should be, they shouldn't be in a hurry. They should just go through the process step by step, okay? Have people who advise them, or people who have been there and been very successful, to chart their path for them. And I think the sky will be their limit, you know. They don't have to be in a rush to succeed. But then they should use their mind well and as right, and listen and have people who will come up to, as it were, be very good resource to them. That they should be very focused and disciplined in life. They should be very, very focused and very disciplined in life. So that's it. Discipline and focus in life, you know. Yes. And being honest. Yes. And hard work. Hard work. They have to really bend their back and really work hard to see themselves succeed. All right? Yeah. So basically, that's it.
Thank you.
Yes. You're most welcome.
What can I say? A businessman has given us over an hour of your time. That's a lot of money.
Yes, of course.
A lot of money.
Yes, yes.
And so I can only but say thank you, and I hope that our viewers have enjoyed the conversation,
Really.
especially Ghanaians and also any foreigners who are looking at Ghana as a business hub, a prospect to try and the Ghanaian economy. You've heard from the gentleman, the Ghanaians, we are hardworking, but we just have to be more determined in what we do.
Exactly.
So I say thank you, Mr. Kwatia,
Thank you
for your
much.
time. And thank you
much.
means we will be back.
Thank you.
Where we will be, it will be subject-based rather than exploring
Exactly.
the areas of your success, business, and experience.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you.
And that your business do well. Change government, no change government. We'll come back and you're still smiling.
God willing.
Thank you so much.
God willing.
And to you all, thank you for staying with us. It's NSG News. I'm your host, Eamn Liquid. And this is the Hot Seat, Ghana's authoritative patriotic program, exclusively Ghanaian. And let me borrow the words from Mr. Kwatia. We are trying to Ghanaianize all Ghanaians,
Exactly.
so we can collectively do well. Till we see you again, it's bye for now. Ghana must work, Ghana can work. We want Ghana to work, and we look forward to the Fourth Republic living forever. Bye for now.
Thank you.